Hey guys, welcome back to Gabbin with Jessa. As you guys can tell, I have changed locations. I now have, I guess, what you can call a studio. I don't know. I'm just happy to be in here making better quality videos, hopefully more of them. And yeah, this is the step that I needed to take so I could get back into it. Today I'm going to be starting a new series on my channel called Book versus Movie, where I will be taking popular books that have been adapted into movies and comparing them to see which one I like better. At the end of the year, I will be adding up all of the winners from our Book versus Movie to answer the most popular question that I know is always on everyone's mind. What's better, the book or the movie? If you guys have any suggestions on any books or movies you'd like me to do, please leave those in the comments below. I also want to try to do this series with TV shows, so you can leave those suggestions as well. The first book and movie that I will be comparing is Wonder. Now, my friend Cody really wanted me to watch the movie because he really liked it a lot, and it was actually available on my flight to London earlier this summer. And then when I was watching the movie, I realized it was actually adapted from this book. Wonder by R.J. Palacio is a children's novel that was published in 2012 that follows the story of August Pullman on his first day of school, as he has been homeschooled for many years due to his medical conditions that have caused him to have facial deformities. It was later adapted into a 2017 movie starring Julia Roberts, Owen Wilson, and Jacob Tremblay as August. So I'll throw up the book cover over here and the movie poster over here, and then I'll just tally up points under each of them, and then at the end we'll add them all up and see which one is the winner. Of course, all the points that I distribute are my own opinion, but I think that we can have an awesome discussion down below in the comments to see what you guys think about this as well. Also, there will be spoilers for both the book and the movie in this, so if you haven't done either and you want to do both, make sure that you click off of this video. But if you have done both, or if you just don't really care, you can stay on the video. So this is a pretty spot-on book to movie adaptation. All of the content from the book was pretty much translated onto the screen, and it was actually done very well. One of the things that really surprised me about this book was that I had to actually pick it up from the children's section of my library. When I watched the movie, it just seemed like a very mature kind of film, even though it was about children. So I was shocked that when I went to go pick it up, I had to go to the children's section and not the adult section. So I'm going to give a point to the movie for that one, just because it was able to translate a children's novel into a movie that can be loved by people of all ages. I'm also going to give another point to the movie because it was actually nominated for an Oscar at the 2018 Academy Awards for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. It didn't win, but I know it took a lot of hard work for that team to make Jacob Tremblay's face look the way it did, with all the medical deformities and the plastic surgeries that his character had to go through, and I just absolutely loved it. I'm going to give a point to the book because even though I did have to travel to the children's section of it, it didn't really feel like a children's novel to me. It's kind of like the same way of how Harry Potter is considered a children's book, because it is starring young kids with some adults thrown in there as well. But I think that, like Harry Potter, this book has a lot of themes that can portray to both adults and children, and I think it's done really well that it didn't feel like I was reading a children's book. I was just automatically hooked by it, kind of similar to the way I was Harry Potter. The book and film are divided up into different sections where each of the children is the narrator of that section, so we can get different perspectives from different people about the same events. I'm going to give a point to the book for this one because I really thought it was a fun and interesting way to keep the book moving, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it made the book more fun to read. Another reason I really liked the style is that each child had their own writing style, so you could definitely tell who was narrating the story at the time, either based on grammar or punctuation or anything like that. So I'm going to give another point to the book for that. When August goes to school for the first time, he's given a tour by a bunch of other students. And now I think that these students and August and the girl that he meets on the first day of school are absolutely terrific child actors. They didn't give off that vibe of like an awkward child actor who's sometimes trying too hard to be funny or to be serious, and it just doesn't flow right. I thought they all did well, so I'm going to give a point to the movie for really good casting. Also, David Diggs. I love David Diggs. He came to fame from being in the original cast as Hamilton, as Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson, and he's in this movie, and I was so excited about that. His character is a little bit different from the book than the movie. In the book, he is just an English teacher. He looks differently than David Diggs does, while in the movie, David Diggs is the homeroom teacher and the English teacher. But I just love David Diggs so well. I thought he played this character absolutely amazing, so I'm going to give another point to the movie for that. Now, this book and movie, like I said, are pretty much the same, but there are 3 scenes that gave me different reactions from the books and the movies. The first one is when the family dog Daisy passed away. Now, when I was watching the movie, I could see this coming from a mile away. It just was very stereotypical. Oh, everything's going wrong, and now of course the poor dog has to die. So I saw it coming. Even though I saw the movie before I read the book, I knew when it was coming in the book, but still, I don't know, the book was able to provoke something out of me. It had the tears coming, and I was just so sad, and I'm crying that the silly dog has died. So I'm gonna give a point to the book for that one, for evoking that emotion out of me. The second scene is with Julian. In the book, Julian decides to transfer schools, and that is why he's not able to go on the class nature trip, and that's the end of it. In the movie, however, it's completely different. In the movie, Julian is suspended for 2 days because Mr. Brown, David Diggs' character, finds him harassing August after months and months and months. He keeps leaving notes in his locker saying that he needs to die, that he's ugly, and he's sending around a photoshopped class picture where August isn't in it. The parents then go to the principal to complain about the suspension, and the principal says, look, this is what he's doing. We need to put a stop to this. And the parents are like, no, I don't feel like my child or any of the children here should be exposed to August because of his condition. And I thought this was a really powerful scene because sometimes people will just take the money and keep things quiet, as Julian's parents donate a lot to the school, but the principal decides that being a good person is more important than money, so he doesn't take the parents' bribe to get rid of August, and they decide to transfer schools. So he's still in school to the end of the year, but he does get his 2-day suspension, and he's not allowed on the nature trip. And I thought this was a really impactful scene. This was a really powerful scene, and I'm really upset that it wasn't in the book at all. So I'm gonna give a point to the movie for that one. And the final scene I wanna talk about is the nature trip one. In the movie, the boys still get bullied from a bunch of other kids from another school, but in the book, I just felt like it gave more detail to the situation, so the kids felt like they were in more danger than they were in the movie. It felt like it was more real, that they had to react quickly or else something was going to go wrong. A lot of the things that did happen to them were explained in great detail, and it made me nervous for them because I'm like, I know how this ends, but like maybe it'll end differently. We don't know. And I really, really like that about the book, so I'm going to give another point to the book for, again, evoking that kind of emotion out of me. Wrapping up the story, again, the book gets me with the tears and the emotion. The book and the movie do end similarly, with August getting the award for greatness and all of his friends being so happy and excited for him, and then he goes and he wants to take pictures. Something that August has never wanted to do before because he just hated the way his face looked on camera because of all of his deformities. But it's just such a warm scene. It makes me so happy, and it makes my heart so happy, and I just absolutely loved it. It had another tear rolling down my face from the book, so I'm gonna give a final point to the book for this one. Alrighty, so all of the points are in, and it looks like the winner is the book by 1 point. This book was a little harder than I thought it would be to compare the book to the movie to because it was so similar, but in the end, the book does come out on top, so we can say that Wonder by R.J. Palacio is the first winner of Book vs. Movie 2019. But of course, that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys thought about this in the comments below. Also, let's be friends on Goodreads. Goodreads is a site where you can keep track of all the books you've read. Maybe you want to see what your friends are up to. Maybe you want to set a reading goal for the year for yourself, and so much more. I'm going to be creating 2 bookshelves called Books to Movies and Movies to TV Shows, where you guys can see which books I have compared to their respective movies or TV shows, and just follow along with me keeping up with what I'm reading with. Also, don't forget to like this video if you want to see more books versus movies, and until next time, keep on gabbing.